Recording in progress.
Okay, well, I'm going to call tonight's meeting, August 11th, Town of Pownell Select Board to order. If you're able to, could you please stand and pledge allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on the agenda is fiscal year 25 AP warrant number 5 in the amount of $694.52.
Move that we approve AP warrant number 5 in the amount of $694.52.
Second it.
Moved and seconded to approve AP warrant number 5 for a total of $694.52. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is fiscal year 26 AP warrant number 6 in the amount of $282,687.93.
Move that we approve AP warrant number 6 in the amount of $282,687.93.
Second it.
Moved and seconded to approve fiscal year 26 AP warrant number 6 in the amount of $282,687.93. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is payroll journal number 61, the amount of $9,322.54.
That we approve payroll journal number 61 in the amount of $9,322.54.
Second it.
Been moved and seconded to approve payroll journal number 61, the amount of $9,322.54. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Next item agenda is minutes of the previous meeting. That would be the minutes of July 28th, 2025, regular select board meeting.
Move that we approve the minutes of the July 28, 2025 regular meeting.
Second it.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of July 28th, 2025, rather regular select board meeting as written. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, motion carries. Next item is department head reports. I guess we're okay with that. Department head reports can be found on the website. You click on the department and the reports are there. Any questions for Becky at this time? Any reports out from the select board at this time? Seeing none, moving on. Public comment, non-agenda items, opportunity for anybody. Town of Pownell, step forward, be heard by the select board. Anybody out there? No. Next item, new business, office configuration. Any new thoughts about that at all? Good. Works for me.
The road commissioner just spent the last week and a half organizing his office and getting it squared away for success. He really did a nice job.
Good.
It's important for him to just get settled in and keep moving forward.
Perfect. All right, next item is Mallet Hall sprinkler inspection and repairs.
So here's the good news of the night. So we had our sprinkler system inspected as we're required to, and it needs some work. It's an antifreeze system, and I'm going to tell you, Chief Peters has volunteered to sort of be the second in contact because he understands these reports much better than I do. So he's been a help to me in interpreting this. But basically, we need to have the antifreeze portion of it completely redone, and a lot of sprinkler heads have to be replaced because they're showing signs of corrosion. And it's required. I'll have an estimate in about a month. They gave me a ballpark of anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 to fix this. So at probably our second meeting in September, I should have pretty solid information. We had to find the original blueprints of the sprinkler system, so that was a little bit of fun seeing all the Mallet Hall design prints down in the vault. And we found them, and Eastern Fire had done them, so that's sped up the process, at least moving it to the next step. But more to come, but that's a copy of the inspection report that you all have emailed last weekend, a hard copy right there. If you have questions, reach out to Chief Jesse Peters. He can really answer probably the technical portion of it better than I can as far as what the report is meaning. But if we have it remediated now, we're probably good for about 10 years and we won't have to worry about it.
Thank you, Becky. Always good to know that things aren't working. All right, next item is county tax warrant. I need to read this. So don't fall asleep. Assessor Town of Pownell pursuant to the provisions of Title 30A MRSA, Section 706, an estimate of sums necessary for defraying the charges of the County of Cumberland for the fiscal year 2025-2006 was voted February 18th, 2025 by the Board of County Commissioners. A tax of $42,119, $42,119,605 is to be assessed, collected, and paid according to law and applied for the purpose thereof. Whereas upon a due apportionment, that said sum of the town, cities, instead county, your town, city's proportion is found to be $214,236 on a valuation of $438 million. Tax rate 489. Your municipality is hereby required in the name of the state of Maine and County of Cumberland to assess the said sum upon polls on estates in said town, city, agreeable to the laws in said state, and cause the same in like manner to be collected and paid to the treasurer of Cumberland County upon this warrant issue for the same on or before the first day of September 2025. Once again, I move that we pay this Cumberland County assessed portion of $214,236. Would someone like to second that?
I second that we pay the county tax of $214,236.
You've been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Sign under my name, please. Next item is Community Resilience Partnership Grant Program update.
This was our homework assignment to kind of come back and think about what might be the top couple. Our deadline to apply for this year's round is August 29th. So it's coming up, which North Star said they can handle as long as we sort of send them a decision tomorrow. So looking for your thoughts. I have my top 2 or 3.
Why don't we start with yours?
Okay. So my top 3 would be heat and cool pumps, LED lighting, and I really do want to explore the potential of a community garden, but I think that's going to take a lot more planning than we have in 3 weeks. My other 2 require estimates. I have already gotten an estimate on the heat and cool pumps, so I've got that piece of document if we go forward with that. So those are my 3 top choices right now.
So heat pumps, LED lighting, and
The community garden, so we have to pick one. The heat and cool pumps would be for 2 in this room, 1 in the stage room, the lobby, and the offices. And it came in around 46,000 and the grant is up to 70, so we're well within the grant.
I like the idea of the heat pumps. One thing I did talk to Becky about at one point was if we're going to go down that road, and maybe for like next year's CRP, is also looking into upgrading the windows. Because otherwise we're basically trying to heat or cool a lobster trap, which we know how that goes. But another one I considered was, I know there was a group of parents in the town that had approached the school board about trying to replace or add on to the play sets at the school, and the school board kind of shut them down. So I don't know if Becky's idea of like the community garden, if we had a lot in the town that was, they could put like a playground / park and then have the community garden as well. So.
8-day?
There was something on this, so this thing about the DEP stream crossing grants to replace two culverts
Mm-hmm,
was very specific.
mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming, is this something that the road commissioner already has knowledge of? These are town roads, not state roads, I'm assuming. I just wondered whether this was something that would be in the works anyway, et cetera.
So we did a DEP stream crossing on Poland Range back in 2021 through this program. The road commissioner managed all that. So it is something that we have done in the past. If I remember correctly, though, that was a reimbursement grant at the time. So we had to go to town meeting, ask for the money, and then we were reimbursed by the state. This is now a different scenario where I think we can directly apply. But there's some questions to know, like where state roads are concerned, if we would be able to do that.
It was the most specific thing on
Mhm.
here. About the cost of it, if the Mallet Hall upgrades, for instance, went through, would the cost of this two culverts being put in sort of fall within what's left of the budget?
So with the DEP stream grant, when we did Poland Range, I believe it was $125,000, if I remember correctly from 4 years ago. So this particular round, we have to choose one and we apply for, there's no, like, we get 70 and we get to spend the rest on anything else. So if we choose LED lights, we get an estimate, we send that, that's what we apply for. The cost, basically the cost of the estimate with probably a 10% contingency. If we go with the heat pumps, we send the estimate and that's what we apply for. If we do DEP Smart Stream, we probably are gonna have to partner with Augusta and get a lot of information. And that would be one for next year's round, we would have time to work on and find that information. I think some of these are a little bit bigger than the time we have to meet this deadline. So I'm kind of presenting ones I think that are manageable in the next 3 weeks.
And I felt as if some of the land use ordinance updates might be timely, beneficial, and low cost.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to come to some consensus about what we feel is the most important. And probably, as always, probably what would be the most acceptable, what we're more likely to get. They're all really worthy.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like this hall is an albatross, just, with George's recommendation for the windows, I do think that if we got heat pumps into the building, it may become more usable feels like we're always up against it with this building. We're always either too hot, too cold, or so I guess I would think that we should apply for the heat pumps and the LED lighting, but not throw away this list, because this list is really, I think, a blueprint for where the town needs to be heading. I think the transfer station with Durham is like, I think we need a different type of grant for that. We need something like Bill Gates to come down and just say, listen. I also think, and people kind of laugh at me, I think that this town is really vulnerable to the change in the climate, if you want to call it that, or just our different winters. Our winters are, and the reason why I say that is because our infrastructure is almost half dirt roads, and the technology to keep those roads up is going to change, because we're going to, wintertime is not kind to those roads. So I have a strategy for those two culverts. But we just have to figure out how to get some kind of chub or perch or something swimming through Runaround Brook. I don't even know what, I don't even know what goes, I don't even know where Beverly Hill is. Where is Beverly Hill?
I don't even know.
Who knows where Beverly Hill Road is? Well,
Put that on this list.
anyway. I'm sure we have it somewhere, but 30 years living here, I don't know where it is.
Well, and we can apply, like, this would be a good time, get this one going, get the blueprint for what goes in, and then we've got some time before the next round opens
Okay.
to do some prep work and really be prepared for some of these bigger ones. I agree. I think the windows is also just another great thing. I mean, we're running those window units right now that are gonna be way worse right now than even the heat and cool pumps, but, it's just, and I just got confirmation, just so you know, the letter of final approval last week. I'm signed up in the newsletter, so I'm gonna get all the alerts when the grant funding's out, what new options are coming. So we're gonna be in the know coming into this. And I think we take advantage of as many grants as we can every year, so.
Okay, so are we in agreement to direct Becky to concentrate on heat pumps and LED? Just to get it. It's kind of like a practice run. Let's get this, like, Becky and I wrote a grant for COVID. It was like, I'm not sure what we need, but let's just do it just to get practice on how to get a grant.
How we got this equipment.
Knowing that all this list is under the backdrop, fairly large financial project coming up that is going to make taxpayer money very dear, so.
And we can use, so the Excel spreadsheet from March has the full listing of grants, which I can recirculate out for all of you. I think I just sent it to George because he wasn't in the loop back then. But we can use that towards new builds too. So that could be key. So we're not limited. We applied for the heat and cool pumps this year. We can apply again in the next round for another building or potential new building. So there's really opportunity here to, as long as the CRP is funded, Community Resilience Partnership is funded, there's grant opportunities. Great. I will notify North Star and they will get working on it.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. So your estimate was about 40,000?
I had ABG come last week and run an estimate, so just in case you moved forward with it, and I got the estimate today, and it was about 46,000 to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 heat pumps. So in each office space, the lobby, 2 in this room where it's so tall, and 1 in the stage room. Because that's, I mean, the stage room, I mean, it is used in the wintertime, and I think the natural gas would probably, the monitor heater is going to be better, but if they needed to sort of dehumidify and cool it down for summer, it just opens the opportunity for that room to be used now in the summertime, which is, you know, part of our goal is to expand the use of the other rooms in the buildings.
The reason why I asked what the estimate was, I'm just wondering, at some point in time, and there could be a lot of disagreement on this, at some point in time, you know, the town is going to have to address its, you know, energy footprint. And
Mhm.
whether or not we would include it in this application, grant application, come up with some kind of proposal, you know, where the building is absolutely wonderfully situated for solar panels.
Yeah, it's a top one. I was going to mention it tonight, but that's going to take more, but I would absolutely love to consider solar panels.
Within, you know, as we, like, I guess you call it, try to become more efficient here, I wonder if there's room in this particular proposal to include some kind of directive to, as we, if we get the grant and install this stuff, can we install it with an eye towards running it off solar power, or is that something that just happens automatically? You know, you put an inverter in and we're off to the races. I don't know. That'd be something to talk to North Star about. we set this up, can we set this up looking forward?
I will ask them tomorrow that our goal is, as we move forward with this, because it is supposed to address your carbon footprint and be green and solar panels. To me, and if, we end up, keeping the salt shed when we know that, like those buildings are positioned too, we could really cut down on our demand charges for electricity with solar panels and running this equipment and really reduce that electric bill, because we all know that's going up. So that was sort of a end goal, and it was like, do you put the solar panels on first and then update the equipment? It was kind of one of those, what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of, scenario. I kept going back and forth, but when I found out the deadline was 3 weeks, I thought, I don't know if I can pull the solar
Yeah,
panel
no,
thing
no.
together, so.
Just, when you talk to North Star, say this
Yes.
is kind of
This is our goal, yep.
there is a solar company that's considering coming in and making a presentation to, they asked not to be named because they're not quite sure whether it's going to be feasible, but the deal would be to solar panel both roofs of the DeWitt room. And in doing so, use that as an impetus for a solar project, much like Freeport had, where they try to get people to put, so you become like a solar co-op.
Mm,
And the idea is to have 15 houses in Pownell in a solar co-op. So 15 new houses put solar panels up, and they pool their, they get their, their electricity, but they also pool the excess electricity and donate it. I don't know. There's a lot of unknown there, but
Sure.
the linchpin is, so we get solar panels for free here on the Mallet Hall as as an advertisement for the other houses to throw in. Anyway, rambling here. Do that. All right, so we're off on the CRP.
yes.
All right, Civics 100, can't wait.
That was our homework assignment too, to just throw some thoughts out about how long you think, how many weeks we should do, how long you think the session should be, and what topics you thought might be worth, and see where we all kind of land on that, so. And sort of the time frame is it's gonna hit right when we're in budget.
It's okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so this one's kind of like, where do you go with it? Like, if we try and cover every committee and every department, we're looking at, a 4-6 week program. And I feel like a good majority of townspeople aren't gonna be entertained for that long. But if we focus on maybe the first couple sessions being like the really core stuff, and then if there's enough interest, say, okay, well, we'll extend it and do further on. But I think if we just come out and say, hey, there's a Civics 100 that's gonna cover all this stuff and it's 6 weeks long, I know myself, I'd be like, that's a little too much for me. But
Day?
I think as evidenced by the capacity of tonight's meeting, I agree with what George said.
Okay. So my thought is that, once again, we partner with the 5th grade class in Pownell Elementary School and any other student that wants to be involved, and ask Mr. Wagner if his curriculum the language could be suitable for 11-year-olds. I say that because my vocabulary is probably at an 11-year-old level anyway, so. And then we invite people to come in, and we ask Peter to talk simply about the town meeting form of government. How does it work? What is the value of a town meeting, and what are its like roots and implications, for the future? It's the kind of the misnomer is it's the purest form of democracy in the country, but obviously this particular meeting is not very democratic if no one attends. So a participatory democracy, a participatory town meeting is the purest form, but how do you get people to participate? That's where the Civics 101 can come in. If we can get young people and their parents to come and advertise it in the school, which is where all the energy is. I don't think there's much energy in the over 60 set town. I think they're set in their ways. But if we can get the kids and their parents involved in town government, and if we don't do it, we're in a fix because there's no one who's going to fill in.
Mhm.
So that would be my proposal, that Mr. Wagner concentrate on like 2 or 3 sessions, including, the 5th grade, and I'll talk to the 5th grade teacher. She's usually pretty on board with any kind of connection with the community, but include it with the whole school. I mean, I think civics education has fallen by the wayside. So, and so if you would get back to Peter and say, we'd like to talk to you about 3 sessions in collaboration with the school and specifically the 5th grade and maybe even their curriculum. And, so that it would involve students and their parents and any other.
I think it's a great idea. We have, demonstrated success with the Round Tail Moth collaboration a couple of years back with them, so it went
That way,
really well.
Yeah, that way, if we had it, at night, fall night, and had a potluck supper and then had, 45-minute session, Peter can focus and just boom, 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 these are the things, and make it, so as a school teacher, if you can make it interesting for a 5th grader, it's gonna be interesting for everybody.
Mhm.
Rambling on about whether it's a policy or an ordinance, it's gonna kill the whole thing, So that would be my idea. I'm only one of 3, but I would suggest that might be a way to go. That way we can at least start and build a connection with Freeport community education.
Mhm.
I think we really need to educate people on how easily it is to contribute to the municipal government, but also how easy it's going to be for municipal government to vanish because no one's participating. The other suggestion would be one of those sessions Peter could talk about the difference between a town administrator and a town manager. People think we have to have that conversation at some point in time. I'm not sure he's the person, but we could get our benevolent friends from MMA to come. They could do that session in conjunction with him.
I think the goal is we present. He just comes and sort of, but my thought was shorter, no more than 4 weeks. And I was like, 4 weeks even could be long. And I thought 1 could be town, our form of government, town meeting, what happens, and maybe town clerk and elections, because that sort of ties. I thought another session could be split between maybe the fire chief and the road commissioner, how do the roads get plowed? How do calls happen, fire calls happen? And then maybe 1 or 2 to whatever board and committee might want to come for 15 minutes and talk about their committee. And my hope was we might get some volunteers and some people to step forward by just some very light, easy subjects, hopefully. Yeah. Right?
Well, I think that with that, we need to include the recreation committee. I really think that food is going to be the way to get people here and just have, the potlucks that I've put together here have been, pretty busy, so. Recreation committee, we use a stage room. There's so much history in there.
Mhm.
And anyway, I think that's the way to go, and maybe we will get volunteers, but I think we just got to get people in this building,
Mhm.
other than just voting and being pissed off.
It's the first step, get them here.
Yep.
Great, I will.
What he says.
report back to him and come up with some thoughts and plans.
Perfect. All right, training with town attorney dates. What do we got here?
So I reached out to Ben to just kind of look at September, and he had given me September 22nd, but after talking with George, George is going to be away on September 22nd. So I reached out to Ben and said, how about October? And this is for FOIA training. And the 27th, the select board meeting of the 27th works better for him. So we've sort of tentatively penciled that in. He'd come at 5. Need about the hour and a half, and we'll invite all boards and committees. I already have one from the planning board that was going to sign up for the MMA training in September, and when I told him we were going to do it in-house, he's like, oh, don't sign me up, I want to come to that. So, so I think we'll get some interest, but just really making sure October 27th, 2 months out, 3 months out, you know, that's going to be right before the election, but we'll be good. We can handle it.
Agreeable with the board?
Okay,
Good.
I will confirm with Ben. So that meeting will start at 5 PM with a workshop, and then I will send out an email to all boards and committees inviting them to it.
On that same note, would you please give George and Kate a password to the MMA Academy?
Oh, yes.
So there are some courses, I'm taking all the courses with the road commissioner, but there's some really easy, it's all online, it's not very long. And if you just look at the menu and if you're at all curious about municipal government, it's pretty interesting stuff there.
Mhm.
So if you just send them their password, that'll direct you to the menu page and you can just look.
What I'll do is I'll sign you up and you'll get an invite link, and then you'll be able to log in. And I think it's a temp password that I'll put in. It might be next week. So as a reminder, I'm going on vacation tomorrow at noon, so I'll do it. I may not have time to do it in the morning.
It's not time sensitive.
I will also say that all department heads have jumped right on taking courses since I got everybody signed up last week and have been sending certificates and really are finding some useful, and they're quick. I did the aerosol airborne one. It was like 38 minutes, and then you take a little 5-question quiz at the end, and then you get a certificate to put in your files.
And some of them, the department has a mandatory.
Yes.
So, but I was away last week, but I've been following our road commissioner. He's doing a good job.
Yes. Yep. Mhm.
So that's not required, but it's just if you're interested. I know there are a lot of times when I'm doing town business and I have to stop and scratch my head and say, I have no idea what that means. But you can figure it out. You can get educated. And MMA has a lot of, I don't even know what the word is, but links to the laws, and it's like a concordance in the Bible. So
Mhm.
if you get familiar with the language enough, you can fool everybody. All right. Is there any other new business? Under new business, how's the road commissioner doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he organized that office. It's cleaner than mine. It looks really good. And
Full bar there.
he's working on, you know, creating a file system, kind of brainstorming on the week of the 25th. When I get back, we'll start sitting together and coding bills. He's anxious to start that. He's like, I got to learn. And I said, we're easing in. He asked questions. We did get a poll permit come in today, but it didn't make it to the agenda. That one might have to circulate because we're not having a meeting till September. So we may have to circulate that one.
Put it in your mailbox and,
Yep.
do you know where it is from?
I don't even, I forwarded it when I got it. So
Oh, would the board vote to give me permission to approve a poll permit with my own signature? Without, it only needs one signature anyway, so.
I think so, yeah.
So, but I need a vote. You need to have some confidence in my ability to look at a standard poll permit, and I'll run it by the road commissioner.
He was gonna go inspect. I think he was gonna try to do it today, but I'm not sure if he did or not, so.
That you sign a full permit back into that.
Well, it would be in absentia of the total board. I'd be doing it.
That's Zoom.
George,
Second.
all in favor? Okay, you're
Okay.
giving me a lot of power here. I hope I don't run amok. So I'll do, you leave that and you in your mailbox and I'll sign it so that you
Okay, I'll let, Dan has it right now in his possession, so I'll just let him know.
can let us know.
Yep.
All right, is there any other like rumblings from the town office? Pretty-
Under correspondence, yeah. But I do have any other business as well.
Let's talk about, at this, we need to come up with some kind of understanding of where AI is going to fit into, this town government. I say it has no place, but I'm only one person. There has been conversations about how incredibly easy it is. The unfortunate thing is that municipal government cannot use AI for any official business at all. So and then you have to define what official business is. Can you respond to a customer who has a planning question with an AI answer? Well, I'm not a lawyer, but I would say if you're giving advice as a representative of the town, then you need to give your advice and not AI generated. But unfortunately, my opinion, I am not in charge of the world. And we'll need to have a policy, an AI policy. Now, Winthrop is in the throes of writing one. They've already got a lot of pushback from the techies, but I just need to say right now that I've had a couple of residents call me and say, how do I know that when I ask, I'm not saying this is the person, but the code enforcement officer for his opinion, that he's giving me his opinion and not an AI generated opinion? I had to say, that's a good question, but we will certainly address the need. You need to look at the code enforcement, the land use ordinance, and interpret it as a person. Cannot ask Siri, hey, what does this mean? Because Siri, believe it or not, will not be a defendant in a court of law. So, okay, I just want to put that out there because when I was looking at Becky, I knew I wanted to talk about that because we had a conversation 2 weeks ago. All right, any other old business? Correspondence. How about those tax bills?
So tax bills hit mailboxes last Wednesday. We have had some walk-ins and some calls. Once they hit, I'm just gonna, just so it's for the minutes, that we are here to answer your questions as best we can. We just ask that you ask them with kindness and maybe refrain from explicit language as we have gotten over the last couple of days, and just be kind to our deputy clerks out front. They're doing the best they can to answer your questions and help you walk through. Donna will be in the office tomorrow, and she is happy to sit down and meet with anybody, and she'll be in the office again 2 weeks from tomorrow.
So on that note, I am removing my home phone number from the official directory because of the number of obscene phone calls I've had over this tax bill. My kids hear it, my wife hears it. There's no need for somebody to call my home phone number and swear on the phone. So as of tonight, that is no longer, you can't get a hold of me that way. I will get a flip phone and you can call me that way.
What
But
about the use of the old CEO phone? Because he added a line to his, and I don't think Bill's using that phone and the town's paying for it. We could just give that to you and you turn it on. It's a town paid for cell phone.
of course,
Oh, it's so easy.
well, that would need to be a vote from the board. And
Oh, I mean, if you want to get a flip phone, that's absolutely fine. You can absolutely do that. I just,
I had a cell phone. I would like to die that way.
you want something simple, yeah.
Something simple, and if the town, if that phone is available, and that's a phone number that you have access to, then bring it home, put it on the counter, and commit to checking it once a night, but it would stay on my counter. Use it. It would just be for official business.
And you can turn it down to silent so you can check it. It's not going to ring and buzz. You would just check it. Let me check with Bill and see. I don't think he's really using it. So let me check in. Well, let's start with that. If he is using it, then we can go another avenue, but.
I'm gonna ask Pascal to take the general assistance number off the door. It's not really relevant anymore anyway. remove my phone number from,
The website.
I'm done.
I will let Jaylene know tomorrow.
But it is, for me, it's really sad that people come into this office and are rude to, the one link they have with the town government. It boggles my mind. Believe it or not, the deputy clerk does not set the mill rate,
Mhm.
nor the tax bill, nor can the deputy clerk vote a town meeting where the taxes are assessed. So Civics 101 would be a great place for people to understand that they're responsible for the taxes they pay for. Any other correspondence? Did anybody call and say, great job?
Advertisement for the newsletter for Civics 101 participation.
Yeah.
Be curious to where your
Mhm. That's why we thought about the after January time, because we'd have one going in December, so we could get something out in the quarterly newsletter. So I do have two more pieces. So I don't know if any of you have gotten calls about 5 chickens that have been let loose out on the pole lines in Allen Road. I did see it on social media over the weekend, and I did get a call today from someone who tried to catch them but couldn't. In the absence of an ACO right now, I did instruct her to call Cumberland County Sheriff, which they'll probably not do anything. But in case you get calls, somebody has let 5 chickens go on the power lines on Allen Road, basically abandoned them from the weekend, and very skittish, so catching them is not really an option for the everyday person, I think. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen there.
One has already been taken care of by a red-tailed hawk. So
Oh, there we go.
that's gonna be. I caution anybody because of the avian flu, you don't know, you'd have to quarantine the birds before you took them home. So
Mhm. Right.
I think, I'm not sure, is one more, what's the town's responsibility here too.
Exactly.
So,
My final piece is we got notice of caucus from the Cumberland County Finance Committee. I won't read this whole page, but municipal officers are invited to attend each respective district and vote for one Cumberland County Finance Committee member for a 3-year term commencing September 2025. That meeting will be on Monday, September 15th, 2025 at the Cumberland County Administrative Offices, 27 Northport Drive, Portland, Maine, on the first floor at 4 p.m. I just wanted to let you all know that you have the ability to vote for a Finance Committee officer on September 15th for Cumberland County.
and if you have never participated in any Cumberland County government ritual, I urge you to go. It is as bizarre as it is archaic. The people, I can say this in public, it just feels like the most inefficient form of government I've ever could imagine. But we are tied to it until somebody figures out a better way. So, any other correspondence or any other business?
So we had a fire call last week down on Elmwood Road, almost to Allen. And one of the residents did pull the chief aside and basically tell him like, I'm surprised how fast you guys got here, how quickly you shut the road down. Just kudos, kudos, kudos. I was under the impression he was going to send an email to like the select board, but we've yet to see it. So just wanted to put that out there. So
Great, thank you. That in the minutes. Ain't anything happening down on the Poland Range Road? That's good. That's the way life should be. Okay, I'm gonna move that we adjourn. Oh,
Just a quick update under any other business, we tested that part for the TV mirroring.
Yeah?
And it worked.
oh, great.
So I did a little shopping last week. I can get an identical TV to that one for about $650. Just gotta find a mount. I think we can do this for about 1,000 and some elbow grease. We'll probably have to mount it off center to the right. There's one other part to just eliminate how many cords that we use, but yeah, it worked great. It mirrored this laptop, so we would be able to have both screens presenting when we're doing budget season or planning board has, the project going on to put up there. So that $14 part was magic.
Good, good. Thank you for
Absolutely.
You'll be gone from when to when? We
I
should-
leave by noon tomorrow and I will return next Wednesday to the office. I will be out of state and mostly out of touch.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
Move your shirt. Favor. Excellent.